Have you ever really thought about the words you use every day? I mean, really thought about them? They have this incredible, almost hidden power, don't they? They can build someone up or completely change their mind. So today, we're going to dive in and unlock that power by exploring this really cool idea of words as apples of gold. And this is where our whole journey kicks off, with this beautiful, ancient proverb, apples of gold in settings of silver. It's not just saying that the right word is valuable, it's saying it's a masterpiece, a work of art. But what does that really mean for us today? How do we actually craft words that are that precious, that impactful? So, that's the big question, right? What's the secret sauce? It turns out it's not just about what we say, but how we say it. And maybe most importantly, why we're saying it in the first place. To figure this out, we need to open up the toolbox that every great communicator has. Okay, so if we're going to create our own apples of gold, we've got to get familiar with these 5 fundamental tools. Think of them like the keys on a keychain that unlock the true potential of your words. Let's run through them real quick, because you'll see how they all work together. First up, and honestly, this is the big one, purpose. This is your why. It's the absolute foundation. Are you trying to teach something? Persuade someone? Before a single word comes out, nailing down your purpose is like setting the destination on your GPS. It guides every other choice you make. Next, we've got your audience, the who. This is so important. You wouldn't explain quantum physics to a 5-year-old the same way you'd explain it to a college professor, right? Knowing who you're talking to and tailoring your message to them, that's how you make sure it actually connects. Then there's structure, the how. This is basically the blueprint for your message. Is it a story with a beginning, middle, and end? Is it a list of key points? A clear structure is what keeps your audience from getting lost. It makes sure your point lands with total clarity. Now for tone. This is all about the feeling your words carry. Are you being serious, playful, urgent? You could say, "That's a great idea," and mean it sincerely. Or you could say it with a totally different tone and be completely sarcastic. Tone gives your words a personality. And finally, we have figurative language. This is the fun stuff, the creative flair. It's things like similes and metaphors. When we say someone has a heart of stone, or we talk about our apples of gold, we're using figurative language. It's the artistry that makes a message stick in someone's head long after they've heard it. All right, so we've got our 5 tools in the kit. But for the rest of our time, we're really going to zero in on the one that drives everything else, purpose. Seriously, understanding your why is the absolute first step to communicating with real power. When you really boil it down, people communicate for one of 3 main reasons. First, they want to inform you, just give you the facts, explain how something works, like a documentary or a news report. Second, they want to persuade you. They're trying to get you to believe something or to take action. And third, they just want to entertain you, tell a good story, make you laugh. And you can see it right here in these examples. This book will show you how volcanoes form. That's pure information. You should vote for Marco. That's obviously persuasion. And Jake tiptoed down the hall. You're already hooked into a story, right? That's entertainment. But check out that last one about the bees. It informs you about pollination, but it's doing that to persuade you that bees are important. And that's where it gets really powerful, when these purposes start to blend. So yeah, identifying your purpose is one thing. That's step 1. But truly understanding the power behind that purpose, well, that's where we get to the next level. That's when you give your words a real mission. See, when your words have a clear mission, they stop being just noise or letters on a screen. They become tools for change. They suddenly have weight, they have intention, and they have the power to make a genuine impact. Just listen to this. A whisper can change a moment. A story can soften a heart. A truth can set someone free. It all leads to this incredible conclusion. That's why words matter. Not just what you say, but why you say it. That why is what gives a simple word the power to do amazing things. And here's a really powerful historical example of this idea in action. In the book of Luke, Jesus reads from a scroll and doesn't just share some nice ideas. He declares his mission, his purpose, to bring good news, freedom, and healing. The whole point here is that his words and his actions were one and the same. His purpose is what gave his words their ultimate power. He didn't just speak them, he fulfilled them. So this kind of brings us to an even bigger question, doesn't it? If the purpose of our words is so important, what's the ultimate purpose of learning to be a good communicator in the first place?
Why does any of this really matter?
Well, the philosophy behind our source material really connects powerful communication to a moral compass. The core idea is that just having the skill, just being educated, isn't enough. In fact, education without morality can actually be harmful. It suggests that the real goal is to align our minds with something greater, a spiritual mindset that, as it says in Romans, ultimately leads to peace. And that brings us right back to you. We've looked at the tools, we've seen how powerful intent can be, and we've even touched on a higher purpose. So the next time you're about to speak or type an email or post something online, just pause for a second and ask yourself, what is my why? What is the purpose of these words? What apples of gold am I trying to create right now? Because that answer, it might just change everything.